Moch. Hello, you can sit on my lap. Oh, it's a real story time now. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Gabriella. I make videos about astrology, lifestyle, mental health, theater life, Disney life, and anything else I feel like talking about. So if that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe and at least just stick around for this video because it is quite an entertaining story. So I don't have this scripted out or planned or any notes. I'm just gonna tell it from my rich memory. But this is the story, okay? You clicked on it to hear the story. This is not clickbait. This is the story of when Mormon missionaries saw me naked. Before I start, I just have to say, because you never know who's gonna be watching and have something to say, I am absolutely not intending to poke fun at or offend anyone who is Mormon, anybody who is religious in any way. I am not at all taking lightly the amazing work and the special journey that LDS missionaries do. I have many Mormon friends that I actually met working in Utah a couple years ago, and you'll hear about that later in the story. But this video is not coming from a place of ignorance where I make fun of Mormons or missionaries or anything like that. So just know that I have a lot of love in my heart for Mormons. So this summer, if you don't know, if you're new, I am a theater actor, among other things, among YouTuber and singer and songwriter. Anyway, I do a lot of musical theater here in LA where I live. And I was in a show this summer, which was a musical parody of A League of Their Own. It was at Rockwell Table and Stage in Los Feliz. If you haven't seen a show there, it's so fun. You can drink and eat, and the show happens all around you, and it's just the best time. And I seriously had the best show experience there, and it really saved my life in a time when I was going through a lot. So anyway, I was doing a show, and I would do shows almost every night. So around, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 p.m., I would sit in front of my mirror and do my makeup and do my hair for the show. I live in an apartment that I've only lived in for about a year, and it gets so hot. It is an older apartment. I don't have central air. I just have little wall units, and it can be so much money. So I just try to deal with the heat by wearing not very many clothes, right? So let me try to explain the setup. In my dining room where I am right now, I can see a floor mirror. I have a floor mirror there, and that's where I sit and do my makeup. Right behind me when I'm doing my makeup is my kitchen. Right over here is the kitchen. And the kitchen has a big window that kind of allows you to look into the apartment. So I guess if someone, no, we'll get there. Anyway, I am wearing a push-up bra and a thong, and I am doing my makeup in front of my mirror. It's 5 p.m. on a Friday, I think. So I honestly am beat to the gods. Like, I'm about done with my makeup. I look phenomenal. Like, I look fab. I hear a knock on the door, and I just assume that it's Amazon or it's a package, because that last summer, since I was working a lot, I just decided to spend a bunch of money on online things. Don't do it, people, because now I'm budgeting and living not above my pay scale. So anyway, I just thought it was another package. So I went over, I stood up, I leisurely walked over to my bathroom. I got my silk robe. It's like kind of like a lingerie silk robe off the hanger on the door, put my robe on, walked over. I thought I would just have to peek my head out and sign, or even just open the door and grab the package. He'd probably be gone. I opened the door, and there are two, I would guess them to be 19-year-old young men dressed in suits, adorable. One of them had a floral tie, I remember, like skinny tie. They were looking good. Like, listen, I'm 25, I'm not that much older. They were definitely legal adults, but I will say they were very cute young men. Okay. So very handsome, looking great, whatever. And I smile, and they sort of have this look on their face, and they're like, hello. And I'm like, hi. And I knew they were missionaries immediately, because I knew, like, no men their age, no young men dressed like that on a normal basis. Like, they looked too nice to be not missionaries. I'm like, I know a Mormon when I see one. Clean cut, taking care of themselves, and the name tag, okay? And it said not brother, what do they say? Elder. So anyway, whatever. So I see the name tags, I clock that they're Mormons, whatever. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have this whole discussion. I know why they're here. It's fine. But they have this weird sort of Cheshire cat, like, look on their faces. The one is like lighter complected. He's got freckles. He's like that type of Irish complexion. So he's kind of red, and I'm like, what is happening? Well, they were like, yeah, we knocked on the door because we're glad you're home. We saw that you were home through your window. I hope you don't mind that we're here. You saw that I was home through my window, through my kitchen window, through to me without clothes on, doing my makeup in front of a mirror, through to me standing up in my thong and my push-up bra to go over to my bathroom and get my silk robe. Now, I can't remember. I think this was when I was doing laser treatments on my bikini line, so at least that was looking fine. And I have no problem being seen naked, but it was just something about the people seeing me naked being like 19-year-old Mormon missionaries. I was just like, why? It felt like I was in a TV show. Like, of course this would happen. Is like, I look like the big old porn girl, like doing her makeup and like, oh boys, I was just getting ready for my show. Let me put on my robe. Like, I felt like, sometimes I feel like I'm a part of people's karma. This is another thing where I really don't like that feeling. Like, have you ever felt like when you hurt somebody or you have to break up with somebody or you know, somebody treats you wrong and you end up doing well and they're not? It sort of feels like, oh, why am I a part of their karma? Like, it feels like I'm a part of their punishment and I don't like it. It makes me feel out of control. Well, this made me feel like I was a part of just giving them some entertainment for the day, because I also know that missionaries, you can't really go to musicals, you can't go to movies, you're not supposed to like be playing on your phone. It's very, very serious, and you're only committed to being a missionary. So I'm sure at times, as committed as they are to their mission, that they just kind of get bored, or, you know, who knows. Anyway, by the look on their faces, I knew that they had seen it all. They had seen it all. And so next thing I know, we're talking and they're like, hey, is this a good time? I was like, you know what? I am off to a show in about 15 minutes. They're like, oh, you're an actor? And I'm like, yeah, I do theater. And I told them where I did the show, and I said, you know, I know you guys can't come see it, but it would be cool if you did, but I know you can't. They're like, how do you know that? And I'm like, listen, I know my fair share of Mormons, and a couple of my friends were missionaries. And they're like, really? Well, what else do you know about us? And I'm like, guys, do you want me to say everything? I know, I have been to the St. George Temple. I know all about life in Utah. I know what swig is. I know what the DI is, okay? I know that you guys, you know, choose to get baptized. I know you choose to go on a mission. I know you're called elder and the girls are called sister. I know mostly what there is to know about Mormonism when you're not a Mormon, okay? Because of course there's stuff that only Mormons know. So anyway, I was kind of flexing my Mormon knowledge on them, and I told them I worked at Tuacahn. I brought it up. They were like, how do you know this? How do you know so many Mormons? I'm like, well, I worked at Tuacahn in St. George for 6.5 months. And they were like, Tuacahn? I saw Cinderella there. And I was like, I was in Cinderella there. So I felt pretty cool. I was kind of like a little celebrity to them. It was pretty awesome. But the whole interaction, I just felt for some reason I felt like I was 15. I felt so embarrassed because they just were so clean cut, and they were also treating me with such kindness and respect. So they weren't at all, you know, making fun of me or trying to make it obvious that they had seen me, and they really were just here to talk to me. But I knew that they were trying to hide that they had just seen a naked girl walking around her apartment. And it was just funny and sweet and so embarrassing. I don't think I've been that embarrassed in so long. They asked me if I was looking to join a new church or what my religious experience was. They were actually very respectful, and I felt very at ease talking to them. I've had some other people from other organizations and other religions come to my door and not be so friendly and not be so open-minded. So they were very kind. I have nothing but good things to say about them. But yeah, and I was like, listen, they were like, we have a singles group. Are you married? I'm like, no, I'm 25, but I'm not married. And I know for Mormons, that's kind of old. And they were like, ha ha ha. And they were like, no, we have a great singles group. There's a, you know, do you call it the church? It's a temple right down the street, da 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 da. And I was like, you know what? Give me your phone numbers. Or they said, I can give you my number, you know, if you would like to come, we can organize it. So I was like, okay, give me your number. I didn't want to be mean or dismissive in any way. And I'm really open to new religions. I truly am. But I also wanted to say, do you see the wine bottle in the corner? And do you also see my coffee maker? There are just fundamental things that I don't think right now I can be a Mormon. And I am not a virgin. So anyway, they were sweet though. They gave me their information, whatever. And I said, I got a dash to the show, but I will call you if I am interested. Okay, so I thought that was sort of a kind way of rejecting them. Tell me why part of me was like, maybe I should call them and like ask them. They were just cute, okay? It was so weird. I was like, no, you can't do this. This is not like in a TV show where you're gonna have a thing, like a little crush with a Mormon guy and he's gonna come tutor you about the Book of Mormon. Like, no, they're very serious about this. Don't do this. I just felt like I was playing into the whole Mormons saw me naked narrative, which I didn't even know was a narrative until now. So anyway, that was the bulk of it. But then the same guys came back. They came back like 2 weeks later and they were so nice again. And they were like, we haven't heard from you, but are you interested in coming? And I was like, I have to tell you, I'm not looking to join a new religion right now. And you know, they asked me straight up, is that something that you're interested in? And I said, to be honest, no. And they said, okay, great. Well, would you like a copy of the Book of Mormon? And I said, yeah, absolutely I would. So, proof, the Book of Mormon right here. It's on my shelf and I plan to read it. I actually would really like to read it, but right now I started the Quran, but it's a lot. You know what I mean? Like just the writing style, I'm like, it's not fluff. It's not the Notebook, that's what I'll say. So, you know, I like to give my respect and reverence to religious texts. So I'm trying to get through the Quran and then I will read the Book of Mormon because why not? So that's my story. 10 out of 10 stars for these Mormon missionaries for being so respectful and being kind and funny and not pushy and talking about cool things with me. I will totally say that before I knew Mormons, because I know people are watching this being maybe thinking some things about Mormonism. Before I knew Mormons, because I didn't know anything about the LDS faith, I had a lot of assumptions that were completely incorrect. I sort of was making up things about Mormonism that like freaked me out or that I didn't understand or da-da-da-da, and it's easy to do that when you don't know humans, when you don't know people that are a part of this faith. And now that I do, and even one of my favorite YouTubers is Mormon, actually a couple of them, Jordan Page of Fun, Cheap, or Free. I love her. And I find actually now that I have met Mormons and spent time with them, my mind is open to people of other faiths. I used to be someone who I thought if you were religious, and especially if you were really, really religious in a different way than me, you were weird and I didn't want to be around you and I didn't agree with you, and because I don't live my life that way, then it's weird if you do. And I just realized that's not a way that I want to be. I don't stand behind those ideals, is that I get to do what I want but you don't, and I get to belittle you for it. And it was a wonderful gift to be able to live in Utah and to be friends with so many people who are in the LDS community. I feel like I've been changed for the better simply because I can recognize the beauty that faith, many different religions, bring to people's lives, appreciate it, and be so happy for them that they're a part of that community. That was probably the funniest thing that happened to me last summer. It really felt like I was on a sitcom. So maybe one day when I have a show, that'll be a part of my show. Tell me why I truly was like, maybe I'll go to the singles group at this church and run into Elder Brown. Like, girl. Anyway, Hope you enjoyed this story. Check out my social media down below to keep up with me off of YouTube. And if you like this video and you like my thing that I've got going on, check out my other videos and please subscribe. Like, comment, it would mean the world. Love you guys so much. Talk to you in my next video. Mwah! Bye guys.